Hello, this is Lusire Boyd. I'm with Black Men Run. I'm the vice captain of the Detroit chapter. We're going to be having awesome interviews. Today, I have Michael Stinson with me. He's going to be telling you all about what's going on with Black Men Run and the events we got coming up later on this year. I'm happy to have you here, Mike. How you doing today?
Man, I'm happy to be here. As they used to say, it's always good to be seen. Good to see you and to be seen.
Yes, yes. So, Mike, tell me, how did you get involved with Black Men Run? What started you here?
Woo! Well, that's a story. But anyway, thank you for having me tonight, number one. Again, as Brother Lusire said, my name is Michael Stinson. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Black Men Run. I also serve as our Director of Public Relations and Media. I joined this group back in 2013, back when I began my running journey. I started running back in 2011, and I'd been running by myself. I lived in Philly at the time, and I was running in the art museum area or the regular Philly running haunts. But as it would happen, as I'm sure we all got the same story, I did not see a lot of people that looked like me, specifically Black men. When I would go on my runs, 8-mile runs, 10-mile runs, to see a lot of other people, I wouldn't see any brothers. Every now and then you see one, and you get excited too. Hey, how you doing? Shake hands on the course, all that. One day, true story, I came home from a run. I was just frustrated. It was a 10-mile run. I got on my computer and I Googled the question, do Black men run?
Wow.
And sure enough, Black men, and it was the same year Black Men Run had been founded. They were founded in July. This was in September. I looked that up. I didn't even know that they existed.
Wow.
Immediately, I went on the website. I bought 2 shirts that same day. And they came to my house a couple of weeks later. I did the first group run in Philly. Like a couple of weeks later, I was so geeked, and I've been with Black Men Run ever since. I'm in New Jersey now. I left Philadelphia about 7 years ago, but man, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be with BMR forever.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. What you started running on your own at first.
Yeah. What ended up happening was back in 2011. And it was the weirdest thing. Sometimes people have these great, Apostle Paul road to Damascus moments. I didn't really have a moment like that, but the true story, I was at a work event. And I guess they took pictures at the event. So the next day they're in the office showing, hey, let me show you the pictures now. And I'm looking at the pictures. I'm like, man, who's that fat guy with his back turned there? I didn't know that was me. Like I knew I was always a big guy, but I didn't know, I didn't really look at myself. I never got on the scale. I'm just a big dude. I went home and I weighed myself that day, and
Oh, wow.
like damn near 330 pounds. And I didn't even know. So I truly, and this is the God's honest truth, the next day I said, all right, I'm gonna do a little bit to see what happens. I owned a treadmill. I had a treadmill since 2008. It was a dust collector. So I said, I'm gonna try tomorrow to see if I can run on my treadmill. And so for when I went to work the next day, I made sure I packed a salad for lunch. I used to order Wendy's. I said, I'm gonna eat a salad today. And when I get home from work, I'm gonna run. I did 5 minutes, meaning I jogged for 2 minutes and I walked for 3 minutes. But I did it. Then the next day I did the same thing. Same thing. About a week later, I was able to jog for like 5 minutes. And then it was a slow process. I mean, I did that for 6 months on my treadmill in my basement before I even stepped foot outside and started running intervals slowly. And it was a while. And after about 2 years, I had lost at that point over 154 pounds. And then all of a sudden, here comes Black Men Run. So
Wow.
I was able to join a brotherhood of some like-minded individuals. They kicked my tail. True story. Our very first group run in Philly that I attended, it was in October of 2013. I didn't know anybody. I showed up. I had my Black Men Run shirt. I was the only one that had the shirt on, by the way, brothers. Wear your shirts. About the only one that had on a Black Men Run shirt that day. And I didn't know who's who. I don't know who's the captain, whatever. These brothers did a 10-mile run that first day. And because I didn't want to look like a punk, I ran 10 miles that first day. I sure enough did. I wasn't going to be. No, I would not recommend that for new runners. Don't do that. But I was geeked. I never heard of this organization. I'm a Black man. I've been running. I'm not going to get left out of this. Y'all doing 10 miles? Great. I'm doing 10 with you. And that was the first group run that I attended with the Philly chapter.
Wow, that's awesome. So you were with Philly and then you moved and you went to New Jersey and now you with the New Jersey Black Men Run group.
Yeah. Yes, it was an interesting transition. So when I joined the Philly chapter at the time, our captain was a brother by the name of Chris Duncan. He didn't really have time, I guess, to really captain the chapter. So I kind of like de facto fell into that role. I didn't want to be the captain. I liked running. I didn't want to be a captain. So I was trying to get other guys to be the captain of the chapter. Like, well, why don't you do it, Mike? Because I don't want to do it. Well, either way, I was doing it anyhow because I would run every week. We didn't have any group runs organized, so I'd be like, hey guys, on Saturday, I'm just going to be here. So if you don't join me, run with me. Someone show up, I take pictures. Hey, this was the group run. Either it's two guys or whatever, but I would do that like every week. So I became the captain of that chapter, and I served in that capacity about maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years. When CMO Edward Walton, shout outs, reached out to me and asked me if I would be willing to serve in the capacity of our national captain. I was honored. I was floored. I didn't even know what to say to that. But I had a good brother, David Johnson, who was with me in the Philly chapter, who was really taking over the runs anyhow. And I knew I had an able lieutenant, so he became the new captain. I transitioned him to the captain of the Philly chapter. Plus, around the same time, I met my new wife at that time. She lived in Jersey, so love will make you move. I'm a Philly guy. I grew up in Philly, but
Right.
my wife lived in Jersey, so I'm in Jersey right now. So that's because just because of
Man,
love.
I did that Philadelphia marathon in 2019, man. It rained on me the entire way, man.
2019. I'm trying to think. Was I there at that one? Was I? No,
It
I wasn't
rained
there
the
that
whole
year.
time. That
Wait,
day, you would remember it. I promise you. It rained, and the guy told me it never rains. I said, yeah, of course it's going to rain because I'm here this
please. They right. The Philly Love Run back in 2013. No, 2014. I remember I did that one. Yes, it was a monsoon. It was a half marathon the entire time. So yeah, I know. And they pretty much run all those races in Philly. They run on the same area. So the Philly marathons run on the same course as the Rock and Roll will have, the Love Run, all those races. Yeah, same area.
They all go by that one museum where Rocky runs up the steps.
That's the art museum. Listen, well, that's why I used to start running. If you're in Philly, you run there, and everybody and their mama runs up the stairs. And yeah, when we used to do our Philly group runs, I don't even know if they do it there still. When we ended our runs, we would end our runs by running up those stairs. That was always and we would do like 5 miles on Wednesday, and we end at the museum, and everybody run. And then we meet at the top of the steps, and they'll do our high fives or whatever. Shout out to the Philly chapter. If you guys are still doing that, that's what we did. We used to meet at the top of the stairs at the end of our run.
That's awesome. That's amazing. So we have a nice event coming up. Can you tell us about what's going on with our national meetup this year?
You are going to want to be in Detroit this year in October 2022. The Detroit Free Press Marathon is not only the marathon, but we're taking that thing over. This is going to be our national meetup. If you wear this on your chest, on your head, or anywhere else on your body, you need to be in Detroit in October. First of all, the energy out of Detroit has been bonkers. I'm kind of impartial, I am the chief operating officer. I'm national. I love all the chapters. I love all my brothers. Anyone that rocks this, we cool. Certain chapters, you see some excitement and energy, and it kind of draws you there. Detroit has been on fire. And that's why we started taking a closer look at Detroit. Not only just the proximity to, it's kind of, I don't want to say in the middle, but sort of in the middle. We used to do a lot on the East Coast. We didn't do a whole lot out West. We're trying to find a centralized location where all the brothers can come. Like, we really want to see everybody in BMR Nation there, not just the race. We're going to be there for a week. We're going to have different meetups. We're going to, it's going to be like old school. If you were ever down in Atlanta for the Publix, and I went down there one time. I was only in Atlanta once my entire life. It was for the Publix, and I met up with the first time I met Ed, Jason, all of them, and yeah, party hardy too. Yeah, we're going to get it in. But Detroit's been showing us love. The Detroit Free Press Marathon, as race coordinators, and this has as people to work with, they've showed us a lot of love. They've really given respect to BMR. We have worked with other races in different times, not naming any of them, but sometimes they see you only as a number where, hey, you got numbers, we'll give you 10% off. You can bring all your people and buy my race, basically. Detroit Free Press is treating us like they value us, that they value our presence there, and they're working with us almost as partners. So we're looking forward to just really going there and taking it over. I'm trying to tell you, listen, get used to it. Get used to this logo. Anyone that's seeing it, you're going to see a lot of this in Detroit, and you better see a lot more even after that too. But we're growing and we're expanding, and Detroit is where it's at. I put in my vacation time last year, 2021, just to
Ooh,
make sure nothing
man.
is keeping me from that. I will drive there if I need to. Heck, I'll run because Black men do run. I will get there.
Oh man, you know what? One thing I love about the Detroit Free Press, I've done the marathon like 5 times and like
Oh,
the
wow.
half marathon like 2 or 3 times.
Okay,
They
so you
have,
know.
oh yeah, it's an awesome marathon. People are going to enjoy it. The key thing with that marathon, because I've done many marathons, Michael, but the thing is, you get to go to Canada on your feet.
That's the part.
That's the only time you can go to Canada on your feet is that particular day. And there's going to be a point. Hopefully, it's a sunny day for everyone because the sun rises as you
Oh,
go
wow.
over the bridge to Canada, and it's like one of the most beautiful views to capture while you standing there on the bridge. And a lot of people take pictures. People just stop. You're like, what they doing? They just
Oh, yeah.
stop and taking pictures of the sunrise on that bridge because they
I
know
would
that.
do that. It's
Yeah,
funny when you were saying that. I was going to say that, not to interrupt you, but
yeah, you
I've
good.
over the years, my attitude toward racing has been like I'm more of sightseeing. Like, listen, they're not paying me to run. I paid to be here. You know? And for a friend of mine in the Philly chat there, Brian Oglesby, shout out, used to say, listen, when you come in fourth to last, you get the same thing. So I'm not going to podium. So I'm going to enjoy myself. I did one full marathon my entire life. I got the tattoo to prove it, 26.2. I did
Oh, check it out.
Chicago in 2015, me and my wife. And yeah, that was the slowest marathon in the world because we were stopping and taking pictures and sightseeing because I hadn't even been to Chicago before. So my point was I paid to be here. It's beautiful. I'm going to enjoy it. So yeah, when you were describing that scene, I could picture myself in the bridge stopping and
Yeah,
pictures, selfies. Hey, I paid to be here.
absolutely, absolutely. Enjoy. I always say, now that you said that, I when I'm running, I enjoy the journey. I'm not necessarily. It's like life to me. Running in life is the same thing. We're both on a journey. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to hurry up in life and get to the finish line.
No, 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 no.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's ride this thing out a little bit. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let's ride this thing out. So I do that. That's why I like doing trail runs and stuff because I get to enjoy the scenery. I might catch a deer here or turkey here and enjoy that because when you get to the finish line, it's like getting on a roller coaster. It's like, oh man, it's over with. I got to find another one to get back on.
I just found it's funny you would say that. My wife and I were walking the other week. We just found a trail near our house. They opened up a new park near us, and I was never a trail runner. And we were
Okay.
out there that day, and I'm thinking, you know what? I might want to trail because first of all, it was beautiful. Number one. Number two, it felt kind of comfortable when I was walking out there. I'm like,
Right.
man, it's probably good to run too. You know, I'm not as young as I used to be. I'm 47. I know that's not old, but whatever. I'm not as young as I used to be. I feel it. And yeah, it was just the other week I was thinking about it. I haven't been convinced yet, man. I've never done trail running. I'm always afraid I'm gonna twist my ankle or something like that. I don't know, but you're making it
Yeah.
sound good.
Yeah. And that's, you know what, that's a big fear a lot of guys have, I noticed, especially we as African Americans, between that and wildlife in the woods.
Well, yeah,
Right.
that too. You know, I don't run faster than them, so I don't know who's out there. And this is their home, so let me not interfere. Yes, and I definitely think about. I stay in my house, you stay in your lane, and we all good.
Yeah,
But
we did a trail run. We did a clinic with Fleet Feet this past weekend in Detroit, and
mhm.
they gave us so much information and little nuggets on how to trail run safely and what to do and different things to allow you to go longer and faster. It's a whole nother animal than the street running when you do the trail.
I'm sure it is. I would just take my time and do it slow. I'm not really much of a competitive runner. I used to be maybe when I first joined BMR. I remember the first year, and I'm captain, so I figured I got something to prove to people. Like, all right, how many races are we doing this year? I did like 15 races my first year. Like, oh, I could
Wow.
tell you now, I don't even have any races coming up. Like, I haven't even registered. I will be in Detroit. I should register for the race though. But I haven't done any races. Like, I'm right now. It's all about. I'm just exercising for life, man. Just trying to. I don't have any performance goals. I don't need to ever run a 10-minute mile in my life. Just need to
Okay.
be able to run the mile. You know, at this point, I've recently lost weight again because over the past few years, like I lost all that weight. I joined BMR, then I got married, and then I got happy and got a little comfortable. That. I got married back in 2016. My wife and I went down to Jamaica, had a great time, and came home. And she's a runner too. My wife's a marathon runner. She's a running coach. Like so we both met out there. She's part of Black Girls Run. Shout out BGR Sisters. But we got back from Jamaica and both were like, okay, we're pretty comfortable. And then, life changes, takes over. And before I knew it, man, like last year I looked up, I had gained of that 154 I had lost, I had gained 170 pounds, man.
Wow. Did you just quit running altogether?
Not slowly and gradually, running 5 times a week became 3 times to once a week to maybe once every other week. And not really the running per se, the running fell off, but just, I tell people all the time, it's, as they say, Abbott made in the kitchen, not paying attention to what I'm eating. I used to eat pretty clean. And then I just started saying, hey, screw it, eat whatever you want to eat. And I had an instance that came up. Now, this is 2022. In 2020, as we began the pandemic, that didn't help because, we're all home now, began working from home, had access to DoorDash and all that stuff. I had never used DoorDash or Grubhub before ever, but I'm home now, so why not? Man, so we're doing all that. And I knew I put on some weight, but whatever. I was applying for some life insurance and the nurse had to come to my house and weigh me. And when she put me on the scale in my house, I was 347 pounds. And I was like, well, damn. I mean, I put on some weight, but seriously, when I did the math, I'm like, damn, I've gained 170 pounds from my low. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed of myself. I've told the brothers many times. I mean, I had to have a moment with like, yo, how are you going to call yourself a leader in a men's health organization? And look at what you're doing. So I started running a little bit then. I kind of fell off, but something happened earlier this year. I lost a friend of mine last year. He was trying to get his life back together and get in shape.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and it was a classmate of mine. We're the same age, and he was trying to. And his last post I saw on social media was he was at the track. He was doing his little round, like, boy, I'm out of shape. And then the very next day, he was gone. And that affected me greatly. It scared me at first when that first happened, because I'm thinking, you hear about people passing away all the time, but this is my peer. We went to elementary school together. This is we're the same age, man.
Close to
And
home.
yeah, it really hit home, and I would not expect that. So then I was scared, like, well, maybe I shouldn't be running either because I don't want to have that happen. So for a while, I just wasn't doing anything at all because I was seriously afraid. But something clicked for me back in March. Like, all right, I'm just going to try to do a little mile on my lunch break or something on my treadmill, see what happens. And since March, I've been consistent, man. I'm back down. I mean, I've lost 109 pounds so far. And I feel great. Like this shirt, it's funny. I pulled this shirt out the closet. Why? Because I had plenty of brand new BMR gear, but I bought all that in the bigger sizes. I can't even wear that stuff. I had to go in the archives and pull out some older shirts because I can't even wear my BMR gear now because it's all too big. That's a good problem to have. I feel great about that.
Yeah, I've been seeing. I've been going through your posts, and I see you've been posting like all the weight you've lost throughout this whole year. You've been really going down, like melting down this year.
I feel it was a little hot in here too. I feel it. It's just amazing. I tell people just making those lifestyle changes that we all know what we're supposed to do. Good and well when you put that double bacon with Whopper in your mouth, that's not supposed to be there. Good and well. The extra milkshake, the extra large that, the 2 bags of chips, that. And when people ask me, and I'm sincere, like I'm not trying to put people down, but they ask me, what did you do? How'd you do? It's like, what to do. It's just finding that encouragement to just keep doing it. Like, what to do. Now, why are you doing it?
Right.
Are you going to continue doing it? And when I started my first run this year was on March 2nd. I did a little mile, felt like I was going to die. The slowest mile I had done in ages. And but I didn't even see any results initially, which you won't. But after a couple of weeks, I started noticing one of my shirts was fitting differently. And I asked my wife, is it just me or does this shirt look different? Because I didn't think, I'm not losing weight, whatever. She goes, no, you're getting smaller. I'm thinking that's just my wife being my wife, like, being loving. Oh, boo, you look so good. So I didn't believe her. Of course, yeah. Like no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And I'm looking like, could be. I pulled out a shirt that I had taken a picture in before, and I looked at it like, oh, wait a minute. Did I get smaller? Then I got on the scale, like, Oh, snap. So when you start seeing those numbers, it becomes a drug, man. I'm addicted. I can't lie to you. I weigh myself every morning. Every morning, first thing, get up, weigh myself, and then I start my day. Because that lets
That's
me,
good.
that sort of helps me decide what is it I'm going to do today. You know, how did I
Right.
live yesterday? You know, how these numbers looking? What am I going to do today? Where am I trying to go? So it's a
Yeah.
daily thing. The results are addictive.
Yes, no doubt, no doubt. I've been kind of doing the same thing. I weigh like 30 pounds over my weight. I'm like in the one. I was in the like 195, and I started getting down to the low 180s lately.
Hmm.
But it was like you said, I knew what I was supposed to be doing and what I wasn't
You
supposed
know.
to do. I mean, like I already know it. Like for me, it's like you shouldn't eat after 7. Why I'm sitting watching Chicago PD eating at 9, 10 o'clock at night? Y'all know better than
Right, 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 right. Yeah, I
that.
usually
You
try
know,
8 o'clock is my cutoff. So yeah, I usually don't eat anything after 8 p.m. That's about it.
after
Hmm.
yeah, that right there, and I know I got a strong, I don't know about you, I got a strong sweet tooth. And every blue moon I in, and I be afterwards, I be like, oh, I know I shouldn't have ate all them licorice. I know I
Man, my downfall, true story of any, I can resist pretty much anything in the world except pastries. If it's sweet and it comes from an oven, I'm pretty much a sucker for it. I had a craving the other week. So ashamed. I told Daryl about it too. I had 2 donuts the other week. So I was just, my wife's like, I want some Dunkin' Donuts. I'm like, I'm not going to say no. Haven't had it in like God knows how many years. But I sure enough went right to Dunkin' Donuts. Yep. I'll get an assorted dozen of whatever you got. Sure, put them in the box. Came home. I felt so guilty, but they were good too. So if it's sweet and it comes from an oven, I will destroy it. Pastries are my downfall. I can resist most things, but yeah, I
yeah,
can't.
mine is that I used to have a crazy thing for Hostess cupcakes back in the day. I don't know
Mm.
why I had to have a Hostess cupcake,
You better
but
stop talking,
and
man. Let me
sauce.
sip on this extra flavorful water.
Hey, I'm down with you, man.
There you go, bro. Talking all these sweets.
Woo! I found something I had Googled. I was like, I need to figure out how to get rid of the sweet tooth. I found these
How do you?
little things you put in your mouth whenever you get a sweet tooth that kind of takes it from you, so you won't go crazy and have that little fix.
Okay. I
And
tried, I get my, I'm sorry, go ahead. I interrupted you. Go
no,
ahead.
no, that's cool. I just was letting you know. I was just trying to research how can I stop eating as much sugar, because sugar is very bad for your bones and a lot
Yes,
of
it
different.
is. Well, that's and really actually this year the biggest change for me is and thank you by the way you noticed the pictures too like because before and I lost a lot of weight doing the running and exercising and stuff but I wasn't eating the right way. I've learned this year I'm really learning how to eat better, eat the right way. So like yeah, I avoid sugar like the plague. I don't mess with sugar. I get my little fixes like I drink water all day, but sometimes I'll get my little Crystal Light flavor pack, is the zero sugar, 0 calorie ones. But I put it in there. I feel like I'm drinking juice. It fools my mind. It's good enough for me. You know what I mean? I get things that are sweet, but not with sugar. I definitely I'll drink like a muscle milk. It's sweet, no sugar though. Things like that. Like I drink things that do have sweetness in them, but no
Right.
sugar. That sugar is like you said, it's the downfall. It's the enemy. I don't mess with him. That's the first thing I look at on any food label. My eye goes right to the sugar line. Like, never mind.
Yeah. High
Never mind.
fructose corn syrup. Huh?
All this it hides in so many ingredients. Like you have to know what it may not necessarily say sugar, but all those
Right.
things, that's sugar. All the condiments you want to use. You want to put barbecue sauce and ketchup and all your stuff. I know it tastes good. All that, it's all in there though. It's all in there, man. I
No
had to
doubt.
learn because at heart, as I always tell people all the time, not to be self-deprecating, I'm a fat guy that loves to eat. And that's always going to be me. Listen, I love food of all kinds, but I have to be smarter about it. Know what
Right.
I'm eating, know what I'm putting in. I mean, you don't have to work it all off if you don't put it in there in the first place. So just be mindful. Besides the fact that I'm feeling better now, I'm looking better now. My wife's still looking at me some kind of ways. So hey, I'm not stopping.
You know
I'm not
that's right.
stopping.
No,
That
that's
that's always
right.
a plus.
Yeah,
Not that we do it for the attention, but when you get it, it doesn't hurt.
I ain't mad at you.
Not at all. It doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt.
So I I see you drinking water. You kind of like me. You got water right next to you right now. I got water next to me, and that keeps that little hunger thing away from me when I
Yeah.
know, like right now in Detroit, it's going on 9 o'clock at night, but it's still daylight, which is a real fooling in the summertime, you know. I'm gonna be in bed in the next 2 hours. And it's like, okay, but right now I feel like it's early, but it is really not. Body just trying to say, hey, go in the kitchen and get that bag of
Exactly.
chips sitting on the counter over there.
And that's that bored eating too. I had to learn that too. Like, I'm not hungry. I'm just eating because I'm bored. You want something to do, so you start eating. Like, you don't need to eat. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
better
like that
sip on
term.
some water. Yeah, bored eating, man. That's all we
Bored
do.
eating. I'm bored, so I'm gonna eat.
And this has been my saving grace. Like you said, I keep this with me all day. This is a 40-ounce water bottle. I try to put away 3 of these every day. So that's
Okay.
I know a gallon is 128 ounces. So if I do 3 of these, I got 120 ounces a day. So I'm trying to make sure I get my water intake. But I sip on this all day, man. Put a little lemon juice in there sometimes, but that's it.
Are you drinking any particular type of water? Is it
No.
just regular tap water? Okay.
Tap water. I got some spring water. If we go shopping, no, I'm not that technical with it. If it's H2O,
Okay.
it works for me.
Yeah.
Regardless of the source, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. So you say you don't have any races. Only race you have on the calendar right now is the Detroit Free Press going on.
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you, it's a combination of things. Initially, again, as with most of us during pandemic time, we weren't doing races, and then we were a little funny about getting too close in proximity to people. I stayed healthy through the whole pandemic and didn't catch COVID. My wife and I both got it in June. Finally, I was mad. Like 2.5 years of being safe, and I get sick. What the? Yeah, that was like a slap in the face. But fortunately, it was a mild case. I was okay. My wife was okay, and we're good. But yeah, that coupled with the fact that, like I said, I put on that weight. I hadn't been running, and that messes with brothers. Your psyche. I know it's good that Black men running. We've really been focusing a lot on mental health. Brothers, we get in these silos sometimes and get into our heads,
Right.
and we're not really getting that energy and drawing from one another. So I was in my head too. I put on weight. I was feeling kind of embarrassed not wearing this shirt in public, but I'm all juicy. You know what I mean? So like,
Juicy.
I didn't want. Yeah. So I didn't want to do races. I didn't want to be around people because I felt like I got to a point where I felt like, and this don't even make sense. I felt like I don't deserve to be representing this logo because look at me. And that was like, I realized that was like, I was in my head. That was some nonsense. I had to get out of my head and say, no, first of all, because when I was captain, I told, listen, this is for everybody. I said, if you can't run, I will walk with you. If you can't walk, I'll sit down with you. But I'm gonna sit there with you until you figure out how to get back up. But like, I ain't worried about your performance, your athletic. I was never, athletic. I can tell you now. My whole life, I was a kid that got picked last for everything. I don't even like sports. I can tell you right now, what is this, July? So what major sports season are we in right now? It's not football. So is it baseball now?
Baseball.
Is baseball? I don't follow sports. Like I have zero interest in sports. I'm not that guy. So because of that, I've never been the type to look down on brothers for their physical ability or whatever. Like, hey, if you could run a 23-minute mile or a 2-minute mile, I don't really care because I'm not athletic and I'm not competitive like that. But I let that creep into my head, thinking, well, I used to be out there running 10-minute miles, and now I'm sitting on the couch for 10 hours, and I can't be Black man running. I shouldn't be wearing this shirt. And I just kind of like stopped and slowed down. So man, this has been my year of reemergence. I call it. I'm back. I'm here. I'm getting back out there.
You're in a good place.
And for races, I might look at some local 5Ks and all. Like, I don't know if I want to do distance anymore, man. I'm not as competitive. I can't see myself doing another marathon ever in my life or a half marathon. Some 5Ks here and there because I don't have anything to prove anymore. I've hit those marks. I got the medal to prove it. Now I'm just trying to be alive, be around here for my kids. I got 2 kids, one in college, one about to go, and I got a lot I got to deal with.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I got few myself. I got one. When you said baseball, reason I knew baseball, my son, he was bat boy for the Detroit Tigers for years.
Oh, okay.
And then my daughter, she's like want to be a superstar and everything. She's like A1 in her class and everything. But she's watching me, he's watching me, and all they know is that daddy always run. And daddy always running. That's what they know.
That's the only thing. running. And that's all right. That's a good example to set. You know, that was the other part too. It was so funny when I first joined Black Men Run, and like even becoming a chapter captain, it kind of tripped me out. It still trips me out to this day because I tell you, I'm not a sports guy. I was never athletic. I'm that one black guy you could find that I don't know how to play basketball. I understand basketball. I don't know all the rules of the game to this day. I don't understand all the positions and what they do. I don't even like basketball. I like football a little bit, you know, because I did play 1 year of football in high school. And before I joined the football team, I was obligated to because my father and all my uncles went to that same high school and they were football stars. So they expected me to play football. So I'm a nerd. I went to the library and I took out a book on football to learn the rules of the game because I didn't even know the rules of the game. And that's how I learned football. And then I played 1 year of football in high school. So I can deal with football a little bit, but other sports, man, nah, that's not me. So when I first started, you know, with Black Men Run, like here I am with all these guys, I'm running and I'm like, and I'm going to races, I'm looking at races on TV. I'm like, am I into sports? Like, did that just happen to me? Did y'all just sneak a sport into my life? Because I don't like sports, but here I am.
Track and field. Track and field.
Track and field. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Philly, pin relays every year. I never went. Now I'm like, man, I should have gone all them years. Like that's like a big deal, but not me. But it's, you know, it's life changing. I tell people all the time, and you know, you'll hear CMO tell us all the time about Black Men Run that, you know, we're not a running group. I know it sounds weird, you know, we are a Black Men Run, but we're not a running group. We are a sphere of social influence. You know, this has been a way that brothers have been able to connect. Like I have connected with guys in my life that have changed my life for the best. Men I would have never met. Heck, my wife, I met her through this. So you know what I mean? Like my life has been completely transformed, all because of running and just trying to stay on that health and fitness journey. I often think of where my life would have been if I did not want to take a health and fitness journey, if I didn't want to take it serious. As you know, especially in our community, in African American community, sometimes obesity is far too accepted. You know, it's okay when we see Big Mama with the arms down here, and we see brother so and so at church, he's wearing, you know, 5X shirts and all. But you know, we accept obesity. Oh, well, it's all right, and it's not all right. It's not all right. And we don't need to be preachy or judgmental, because I don't judge anybody. I tell people I'm the first one. And yes, I've lost over 100 some odd pounds. I'm still that fat kid. I'm always gonna be that fat kid inside. So I don't judge anybody, but don't accept it. You don't have to stay that way. It's not all right. You can be better. You're not ever going to be a supermodel. You'll never see me on the cover of Sports Illustrated, but I'm not going to die in a casket 600 pounds because I like to eat myself to death. You know what I mean? Like That's not going to happen.
Right. No doubt. It's all a mindset, you know. People have to set their mind, because people have been raised, especially like you said, in the African American community, we have been raised a certain way. And a lot of people, like when I'm running through the streets and people be like, oh, go ahead, man, you looking good. I need to get I always hear this from African Americans. If you're running down the street, like downtown or something, you'll hear somebody say something to the fact that, man, I need to be out there with you. You know, and it's like, I'm like, come on.
Come on. I'll wait. Come on. Put shoes on. I'll wait for you. Yeah.
And it's just the mindset. People got to realize that this is like brushing your teeth, you know, exercise and health, not necessarily like I was telling some guys, what was that? Tuesday. I was telling some guys Tuesday that don't run, some of my nephews and stuff. And I was saying, look, you guys, y'all don't even have to run. I know y'all cracking jokes on me about running this all this time. I said, but just start walking. I said, just go for a walk around the block. They say walking is sometimes better than running. It's all about your heart. I had an 83-year-old man years ago. He told me, I was just pumping steel in the gym back in those days.
Yeah.
He was like, listen, young man, you need to start taking care of your most important heart. He said, the most important heart in your body is your heart. He said, you got to do more cardio. And that stuck with me. I started jogging because I seen this old man jogging around the gym. And I was like, man, this cat, he 80-some years old getting it in. So I took his advice, man, and started running more.
He was
That's
right.
how,
And,
go ahead. That's how I
and
started running even more.
I'm gonna say I'm glad you said that, and thank you for reminding me, because that was really, for me, that was the big shift for me this year. So I too started learning about heart health this year. My running before is different than what I do now. Because before it was all about, I'm gonna go as hard as I can, push
Right.
myself to I'm gonna pass out. My heart rate is up through the roof. I didn't know about that, so I wear my Garmin now when I run. Now I'm learning my zone. Right, I don't push myself past a certain zone. So even if I feel like I could do more, I'm not going to do more, because first of all, I want to stay alive. But second of all, I'm just trying to keep myself in like a good fat burning zone. So I keep it low
Right.
and slow, and I can
That's
go for
wisdom.
longer periods of time. I
Right.
feel good. I'm not taxing myself. Again, I'm not 20. So, things aren't what they used to be. But yes, when you said that, that was a light switch that went off for me this year. I tell people now, when they see me doing what I'm doing, like, don't get it twisted. I don't run a lot. Like, I don't really work out heavy. And my little runs I do, if you look at my paces, I'm very slow. I'm slow and consistent. I get my heart rate into a certain zone, and then I keep it there. And that's
That's
what I do.
that's fat burning though.
And my point exactly. I'm, like I said, I don't have any performance goals. I don't need to run 10-minute mile. I'm trying to lose some fat. So those are my goals. I'm trying to lose weight. So that's thank you for saying that. That's exactly why I do that zone right there.
Absolutely. Man, that's awesome. Awesome, man. This
Yeah,
is
man.
this is like a book, man. That's a nugget and a half. Cause I have one running friend. He used to go every time he run, he would be on 10. He'd be just
Yeah.
and then one day he went for a run with me and a few other people and realized, man, you guys stop, take pictures and do this and that. I said, yeah, man, we enjoy this
That's
journey.
right. That's
Even
right.
when we training, we enjoy the journey. We ain't trying to just blow our heart out and come back all tired and not enjoy what we just did.
Exactly. And I think a lot of us, we're guys. Guys, we get around each other sometimes. You want to be a little competitive. I'm running, you're running, you get in front of me, and I'm gonna get in front of you, and now we're racing. Things happen. It's like that. But like you said, you gotta learn to enjoy the journey. Just enjoy the fact that you're there, you're alive for another day, you're breathing, man. Don't try to rush this thing. Like you said, we're gonna all see the end at some point. We're gonna all
Yeah,
get there. Don't rush to
yes.
get there. So when I
It's a
do my
marathon, it's not a sprint.
amen, a nice slow marathon where I'm going to stop and take pictures during the marathon too. I mean, that's how I order my life, and I'm glad. Like, it's been working for me. I learned this year I don't have to work out super duper crazy hard. I just need to be. The main thing is to be consistent with it, though. I have to be consistent. I do make sure if I'm not running, I do my little strength training. I bought some little weights in my garage, so I put up a little home gym, and I do my
Okay.
little weight training. Not a whole lot. Listen, I'm not trying to, I'm not a big bulky guy, but just trying to find ways to stay healthier as I'm approaching, the halfway point or approaching 50. Like, all right, what can I do to keep it right, and still also to be an example too. I've been 18-year-old. Well, he'll be 18 next month. I have an 18-year-old son in my house now. I want him to see me
Right,
and see
right.
the right thing. And I want my daughter to see me and see the right thing. And I had not been setting the right example for too long. And people are watching you. Even when you think they're not watching you, they're watching you. And I only know that now because when I started posting this year, because I wasn't even posting on Facebook for a while because I wasn't doing anything and I was embarrassed. I was just sitting around getting fat. So who needs to see pictures of that? But when I started posting again, people were reaching out to me and I started getting, people were texting me, and even in my inbox, guys that I don't know, telling me that, I've been seeing your post, man, and you're really inspiring me. And I gotta tell you, man, that really it got me. It got to me. Like that encourages me to want to keep going, probably more than a lot of other things. The fact that I know that guys are seeing that. And it's not about hyping me up because I'm just whatever. It's not about me, but I wasn't trying to inspire people. But if I can inspire you, then I know I'm doing a good thing and I want to keep doing. Now I feel like I don't want to let people down. Like, I'm not going to stop. I don't want to let you down. I'm not
Right.
gonna I'm not gonna go backwards. I don't want to let you down. Like, I'm doing this thing. I didn't put it out there. It's public. You see me now. And I'm gonna keep going because if you're proud of me, I'm proud of me too. And we're gonna keep it going. So that's what my year has pretty much been this year, and what it's going to continue to be. I have no plan to stop unless the good Lord say otherwise. I
Well,
plan to.
you've been doing an awesome job at being an example. Your posts have inspired me. I've been watching. I'm like, man, I'm
Thank you.
really this guy. He's
I'm
doing it,
honored.
man. I said, I'm looking forward to meeting you in the flesh in October,
Me
man.
too,
It's gonna be
brother.
awesome to
Yeah,
hang
man. Oh
out.
my gosh. I
We're
can't
gonna
wait to
have
see all
fun.
my brothers, man, when I get out there. Man. It's gonna be a good time. Miss y'all, man. I mean, I never even met you in person. I met so many brothers that I see, and I've seen your name all over Facebook. Never met you before, man. But you know, we got a bond. Whenever I see, I don't care who the brother is. If you're wearing this, then I know you. I don't need to know
We
you.
brothers automatically, man. We
We
brothers
fam, man. We fam already.
yeah,
So
we
we
fam.
got, this is just a formality. I haven't met you, but we're already family. So it's all good, man.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. And not to keep advertising, that's what this brotherhood's about, man. That's what it's meant for me, man. A lot of guys had the experience where, maybe, I don't know if they're maybe military or whatever. I always wanted to be in the military. And I tried to join the army out of high school. I was not able to enlist. So I always admired guys who served in any branch of service, but I never had that fraternal thing. I did not go to college, so I did not pledge a fraternity. So
Right.
being was like a life-changing thing for me. Like, wow, I
It's
never had
yeah, it's
this.
like a fraternity.
It is like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like this
yeah,
fraternal organization of like-minded brothers doing
yeah,
that iron sharpening iron, man. Brothers pushing you to be better and helping you out, man. Like
yeah,
I didn't know
yeah,
what that was like. So, man,
yeah.
I fell in love instantly. That's why I'm so gung ho about Black Men Run. My wife teases me all the time because whenever we go out, all I wear is Black Men Run gear. You would think I have no other clothes because that's all I talk about. She's like, "You be BMR from head to toe." Yes, I am. Yes, I am. All
I
day,
man,
every day.
that's good. That's good. Because when you look at it, you every time I see it, it's like, oh, I'm representing.
Exactly.
Lately I've been because I run with other clubs, but what I've been doing lately, bam, I'm wearing BMR at the other spots, different other journeys. So the guys, and it's
Yeah.
been a blessing, guys from other clubs have been coming into Black Men Run. And people want to be part of this, or the men folk, they want to be part of it. They can tell that we have such a love for each other, man, and we have such a camaraderie that
Yeah.
is really something to be involved with. That and it's being healthy at the same token.
Exactly. Which tells you, and when we see that kind of response, like we are really filling a niche, like it's needed. Guys really want that. Because yes, I'm sure you've had the same experiences I have. I can't tell you how many times I'm wearing this shirt in public and brothers see that. Like Black Men Run. Oh, how can I? Because they're excited to see. Probably as excited as I was the first time I told you, do Black Men Run? That was my Google question. When I saw that, man, I nearly fell out my chair. Like, no, they don't have a whole Black Men Run group. Like, man, where do I join? That was my first thing. This was the first year, seeing it was still like in the infancy, man. Where do I go? What do I do? Because yes, I don't care what it is, who it is, how much it costs. I need to be a part of this.
Right.
Yes. So
Yeah,
we
I
do
got I
fill a
got the
niche,
big
man.
old I got the big old sticker on my Jeep. If you drive behind me, I'm part of Black Men Run.
I
You
wear
you
that
can tell when
proudly.
they come around the side of you, they look in your vehicle to see who's driving.
Oh yeah, I like that too, and I want you to see it too. Sometimes you get good looks or bad looks too. I love the haters too. They have to, oh, Black Men Run, huh? Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
And what? What do you got to say? Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I love the attention, man. I don't mind that. And it's good advertising anyhow.
yes, it is. Yes, it
But we are going to definitely what they're going to see the advertising in, not to take us away from our main point, Detroit Free Press, October. That is going to be the place, man. Like I'm excited. I haven't traveled for a race in years. I haven't gathered with the BMR brothers in years. Last time I gathered maybe was the AC a couple years ago, Lang City 2 years ago. But
is. Okay.
man, I'm looking forward to getting down there, seeing all y'all. Like I said, it's going to be an event. We're down there for a few days. So yeah, the race is a race too. You know, Detroit showing us love as a city. Detroit Free Press as a race, they're showing us love, man. So that gonna be a whole lot of swag, a whole lot of prize, a whole lot of giveaways, a whole lot of stuff that guys are really, really going to enjoy. And yes, I'm going to enjoy it all too. I might be the loudmouth, and this is probably more, Lusire, I can tell you, this is probably more than you probably ever hear me talk. I know I say I don't talk a lot. I can if I need to.
Well,
I
you
used to
told me.
listen. I used to want to be a preacher back in the day. I've lived a whole lot of lives. I used to take public speaking classes, so I don't mind talking, but I'm usually in the cut. I'm usually pretty quiet, but when I need to talk, I can talk.
Well, I just thank you today Mr. Stinson, Michael Stinson, for
Man, my
coming
brother.
on this, coming on this blog that we have now. This is an awesome blog. You're the first person. It's been an
My
awesome
honor.
interview. You really brought to life a whole bunch of different subjects. I'm
Thank you.
excited. You're gonna have a wonderful time in Detroit. I promise you that the Motor City is gonna be here,
Oh,
making
yeah.
it happen. It's gonna go down like 4 flat tires when you get here. So
Yeah.
you enjoy your journey on the way here. Get all your training in. Get your heel work in so you can climb that bridge and get over to Canada. And then when you come back, you'll be able to go under the water doing the underwater mile. You're gonna really enjoy that.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. And I thank you for having me on here this evening. I'm honored. I didn't know I was the first one. So man, thank you so much. I'm shocked. Hopefully I'm a tough act to follow. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm looking forward to seeing everyone else too. But no, it was good being here, man. Anytime I can talk to anybody about BMR, any of my brothers, and I preach this gospel all day. So it's one of my favorite topics, and I love to let everyone know how much BMR is transformational, not only for me, but pretty much for anyone who has been impacted by it. I think we can all tell those stories of how this has changed our lives, and it certainly has changed mine.
All right, you be blessed and prosperous, and I'll be seeing you on the emails, my brother.
Yes, sir, brother. Keep running now.
You too. Keep running.
Yes, sir.
Keep
Take
it
care.
moving. Take care.